What do we know about Jesus' siblings?
The sibling that we probably know the most about is James, because he wrote a book in the New Testament. We know that at least early in Jesus' ministry, the siblings were a little skeptical as to who he was. We also believe and teach that Jesus had siblings. There is some debate among this, especially between Roman Catholic theologians and Protestant theologians. One of the questions when you're reading the Bible that's important to ask, just as a rule of thumb, is what is the most natural way to read this text? And if you got to do all sorts of contortions to make it look like Jesus didn't have any siblings, the simplest answer is usually the best answer. And so when it talks about Jesus having brothers, it probably means that Jesus actually had brothers. And so although we don't know all the ins and outs, if you want to know more about James, I'd encourage you to go read the New Testament book of James. We know this, at least by the end of their life, Jesus' siblings knew they needed Jesus, which is part of what James testifies to in his book.
Well, and we also know that, and I'm trying to think of the reference and it's not coming to mind, but we also know that at one point when Jesus was teaching, his family was saying, what's wrong with him? They were trying to sort of suppress him because they thought he'd lost his mind. Now, my siblings think I've lost my mind, and they're probably right. But we know that there were relationships, and what I love about it is it's real family relationships. The Bible doesn't gloss over, it doesn't paint some kind of a perfection picture of life, of the people, the common people, the ordinary people like us. He gives us a real glimpse. And so when your family has struggles, when you have interactions with your siblings that are less than perfect, Jesus had those same kinds of interactions. He didn't make the mistakes, but we still see the tensions that were real between siblings and even between mother and son.